Hello and welcome to Music Worth Buying Classic. This is TJR. The following is a rebroadcast of an episode from our original and now defunct YouTube channel. This episode originally aired back in August of 2010 in remembrance of the sad passing of Michael Bean of The Call. Robert and I thought it would be appropriate to rebroadcast this episode at this time, since our latest episode features a review of the album The Call, featuring Robert Levon Bean of BRMC. We hope you enjoyed this rebroadcast from our original series, and will stay tuned for more classic episode rebroadcasts.
Hello, and welcome to a special episode of Music Worth Buying. My name is Robert Kinsler, and I'm a music writer and a musician.
My name is TJR. I'm a musician and a music writer.
Now, this episode is obviously a little bit different today. We're actually going to honor Michael Bean, who was the lead singer, bassist, and songwriter for The Call from about, I guess from the 1970s or so, all the way up until 2000. He passed away in Belgium just a few days ago on August 19th, and he was only 60 years of age. And both Michael Bean and The Call really are not that well known, tragically. So we thought we'd honor him, hear a little bit about his music, and learn a little bit more about him on this episode.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
So you got one of their albums, right? You got an original copy, actually.
Right. Yeah. Now, my favorite Call album is called Reconciled. It came out in 1986. They had quite a few great albums, but this one really always connected with me. It came out on CD back, I think, in 1990, a few years after it was released. I don't believe it's in print now, but you can buy it on iTunes or Amazon as an MP3 album. And also, I looked this morning, and there were some used copies and a few very overpriced new copies of the album floating around on Amazon in the marketplace. So, but for sure, at least download.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, Amazon has it for just $7.99, the MP3 version, which is great because even though the album is obviously out of print, they're not they're not reissuing it. It's great that you can still access a digital version of it.
Yeah. And what I thought we'd do is let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of The Call and Michael Bean and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about him. This first song on the album is called Everywhere I Go, and actually, which is kind of interesting note, is on the background vocals featured are Jim Kerr of Simple Minds and Peter Gabriel.
Wow.
So yeah, let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of this song. This is called Everywhere I Go.
Good.
Promise that you made. I think of you everywhere I go. I think of you everywhere I go. I look for you everywhere I go. I need you
I remember that song. Very cool. Something we should note, fans of Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, which of course I am, I was not even aware of this, but you told me on the break, his son, Robert Bean, is in Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and is, I guess, the unofficial fourth member
they call him
of The Call.
He's kind of like an uncredited fourth member. He was their sound engineer at their shows, apparently spent a lot of time kind of helping them, enhance their sound and that kind of thing. I did a little bit of reading about that on Wikipedia this weekend.
Yeah.
And one thing we should note is that when Michael Bean passed away on August 19th, it was with them. They were on tour in Belgium, and that's where he had a heart attack, unfortunately, and passed away. Another personal memory I want to bring is that I actually attended the band's show back in 1990 at the Coach House, where they recorded their live album, and it wasn't issued until 2000. That's another one of those albums that's out of print, but I think those of you that are interested enough, you can either go to a kind of a great record store or track it down on Amazon, and you can purchase that used, and it's a fantastic album. I was at the show. I remember the band played 2.5, maybe close to 3 hours. It was a long time ago, 20 years ago, but It was a fantastic show, and I think The Call will be very is already been missed for 10 years since they haven't played live. But on a personal note, it's definitely our thoughts and prayers go out to kind of Michael's family and friends and that kind of thing. But let's go ahead and although the band kind of rose to prominence when they had relocated to California, I think they were out of the Santa Cruz area. I believe he was originally from Oklahoma, and there's a song on Reconciled called Oklahoma, and let's listen to a little bit of that one.
Cool.
How was I to know what I was to think?
that and then comparing it to the last track, the first thing I think of is the first track was very European sounding, and then this next track so American sounding, and
that's a good point. The way I kind of hear it is, it's like people say, you had bands like Simple Minds, you had U2, The Alarm, these great European bands that kind of had this driving music that kind of incorporated spiritual themes and political themes and that kind of thing into really inspiring music that kind of apart from the keyboard and the new wave stuff. And I think The Call was almost like America's answer to that style. They just unfortunately did not have obviously the kind of success that they deserved. And Michael Bean really was the architect. Obviously he was the key guy in the band because it was his voice that you heard, and just a fantastic talent. And like I said, I have great memories of listening to the music, and then obviously I've seen the band back in 1990, and like I said, I think he'll be very much missed.
Yeah, and hopefully you viewers out there will take some time and discover this music for yourself.
Great. Well, thanks very much for joining us and on this special edition of Music Worth Buying. And my name's Robert Kinsler. I'm a music writer and a musician.
My name's TJR. I'm a musician and a music writer.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.